All right, back here on Across the Board with Ian the Colonel and Lostprophets, and your name and what you do in the band?
Hey, I'm Luke, and I play drums in Lostprophets.
Yeah. So, Luke, I know you guys already played today. What was the crowd like? And, I mean, you guys are on the road so much. You're in Virginia today. You're in Atlanta tomorrow. How do you keep that energy up while you're going? Is it just the feedback from the crowd or Red Bull?
It's it's tough, man. I mean, you know, crowds vary wherever you go. I mean, we've been really lucky because this is our first tour back in the States in 6 years. So we've been lucky that people have remembered us, and that you know, we've had a lot of people from the past still come to the shows and stick by our side. So that's been very flattering. But you know, we've seen a lot of new kids. So generally, the energy of the crowd, you know, you're able to thrive off that. I mean, we're only playing 30-minute sets, which is 6 songs for us. Whereas back home or anywhere else we headline in the world, we normally play like an hour and a half to an hour and 50 minutes, you know. So I definitely think with the heat and everything taken into consideration, like, the shorter set is helping us out.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely the energy of the fans and just being stoked to be back touring America, you know, doing Warped Tour and stuff.
Yeah. Now, do you guys switch up your set as you're here, or?
We've had a pretty solid set for the last sort of 5-6 shows. We played a different set for the first 3 shows, settled into a set. We were trying to get the right length, you know. But I think as of tomorrow, we're going to start switching out a couple of songs and trying some other stuff and just seeing, you know, what goes down.
Nice.
See if it's any better.
Like, what songs did you play this morning? We actually missed the show, so.
Today we played the opening song off the new record, which is called Bring 'Em Down,
Yep.
which was the first single. And then we played Ride off Start Something. We played Shinobi off the first record, Fake Sound. We played Rooftops off Liberation.
Yep.
Last Train off Start Something, and then we ended with Burn Burn, which is off Start Something as well. Start Something.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a set list. I mean, how do you decide though what songs you want to do when you've got to narrow it down to 6? If you got to pick 6 out of it, that's not even a whole album.
Yeah, it's very tough for us because obviously now we have 5 records. We're obviously out in support of our new record. We're not playing anything off the Betrayed because it didn't come out here, so that's kind of pointless. So we were kind of picking up 4 records, and I mean, obviously Start Something and Liberation were 2 really strong records out here, so you know, we're trying to please the crowd and play sort of the big songs that hit radio. So there's kind of, you know, you can't really not play Shinobi, you can't really not play Last Train, you can't really not play Rooftops. That's 3 songs gone straight away that probably going to be there every day, you know. So then that kind of leaves us with, we've got to play a song of Weapons, that's a song gone right there. So that leaves us with 2 songs to play around, and we love ending on Burn Burn, so really probably it's only Ride that's going to get rotated out, so we probably, you know, so it is very tough. I mean, usually when we do festivals in the UK, we get 50 minutes. All of our singles in the UK have been really big, so if we go and try and play, you know, a 40-minute festival set, that becomes real difficult, because if you get like, you know, sort of 8 songs, and there's 3 singles off every record, then it becomes an absolute nightmare trying to, like, you know. One time we didn't play Shinobi and we got so much abuse online, it was crazy.
Wow. Fair enough, though. I can see that, yeah.
I know that's one of his favorites.
You know, so many incredible bands from the UK, you know, in the past, obviously the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Now you guys, Bring Me the Horizon, Asking Alexandria. What's in the water? I
don't know, man. Wales has got some good in the water. I'm actually the only person that's not Welsh in the band. I'm from Birmingham, but you know, my hometown Birmingham had an amazing music scene back in the day. Obviously, you know, so many greats: Duran Duran, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest from the West Midlands, Zeppelin, all those bands, you know. And currently, you know, like you mentioned, a bunch of bands. There's another band called Feed the Rhino that's amazing. There's a band called Kids in Glass Houses from Wales that are amazing. The Blackout, Attack UK.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's so many.
Skindred from England.
Yeah, Skindred, they're Bad Boy, they're friends of ours, you know. Young Guns, Yumi at 6. There's so much like going on over there, and I think basically the rock sort of pop alternative culture was coming in from the States and embraced by the British for so long, but not really putting anything out. So all American bands would come over and love touring the UK because everybody was hungry for it, but no one was really doing it in the UK, you know. And then it just kind of kicked off. And I mean, Prophets has been around 15 years now, and his first album came out like almost 12 years ago. So it's kind of like we're definitely a long in the tooth band, you know. But I think people just get inspired, you know what I mean? There's a lot of great music that came around in the UK and didn't stick around, which sucked, you know what I mean? 100 Reasons, they were an awesome British band, and they were around for a few years, and then it kind of went away. And then Funeral for a Friend, they're still going, you know what I mean? Like, they're not as big as they used to be, but like that band inspired so many young bands, you know what I mean? And again, Welsh, you know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of good music coming out of Wales in particular.
Yeah, and Bullet for My Valentine, are they Welsh?
Bullet, yeah, they're Welsh.
Yeah.
Bridge End boys. You know, it's pretty nuts. The Welsh scene is pretty nuts.
Is there? Obviously, there's going to be some difference, but what's the main difference between fans at the UK and fans, you know, in the States, especially? Because I know the music scene tends to be different here. Rock has started falling off, whereas in the UK, rock stand, you know, it's pretty relevant.
It's the same in the UK. Rock's fallen off. Everything has become more difficult. Records, sales, radio, you know, all that. Like it's such a weird time, but we just do what we love doing, and the fundamental difference for us right now between fans in the UK and the fans here is the fans have been starved of our band here. So we're meeting so many appreciative people. Like we didn't know. We thought people would have just forgotten. You know, like a band comes over, they have a big record, they do a lot of touring, and then essentially, you know, people could have got pissed that the band turned their back for 6 years. I mean, it just wasn't financially viable for us to get out there and do it. But you know, we basically came out here now and we're pumped, and the response has been phenomenal. Like, I don't think we really ever imagined playing so many kids or signing so many kids or doing so many records over here. And it's just a really positive vibe, and I think it's kind of reinvigorated everyone's love for coming to the States and touring. So there's going to be a lot more of it to come, you know. Yeah,
on our side, you know, we're huge Lost Prophets fans, the two of us, and just so excited to have the new album out and hear you guys back. It's an incredible thing.
And you know, do you ever try to explain what, you know, I mean, not the whole ins and outs, but the general financial situations for a band? Do you ever try to explain it to fans when they come up to you and say, where you been for 6 years? I mean, because we understand. Because we've heard all the stories, but to the general common fan, is
I
it
think
hard
you all
to
have
explain
mansions and rolls.
Like people do the conception of Lost Prophets, even in the UK, is that we're rich. It's certainly not the case, but you know, we're all very privileged to be able to do our dream jobs and tour on the road and not have to go back and work in a Kmart or, like, you know, work in a shop.
Kmart in the UK?
There's a couple of Kmart's, but, you know, I was trying to mention an American equivalent of you know, or Ralph's or whatever. So we're very lucky to not have to do that, you know. And so I don't think the sort of end game of anybody doing Lost Prophets was ever to be rich and famous. Like, I've always thought the rich and famous, you know, aspect of it comes with talent and comes with people who do what they believe in, that are not just out there for the fame and the money, you know. And there's definitely no one in our band that's just out there for fame and money. The band's been around for God knows how many years, and you know, it's still going along, and we might be, you know, less further down the ladder than where we were in 2004 when Start Something was out, but we just love it. So with the thing we're coming to America was label politics and stuff. You know, we're obviously signed to Visible Noise in the UK, or were. This is the first record that's on Sony, and we were signed to Sony worldwide. And so, obviously, you all know that the first version of The Betrayed was recorded with a different producer, and it didn't cut the mustard. And so, it was then Stuart, our bass player, redid that record. The label wanted to put out the first version. The band were not backing it or behind it, and so Stuart ended up re-recording it. That's what got put out, and the label was like, we're not putting it out. So that also gave us no product to tour the USA with, which made it pointless, you know what I mean? So we it kind of just made that gap longer, and plus that was a 3-year turnaround to make that record and stuff, and so it was just kind of like a circumstantial thing that kind of sucked and got out of control, and so for me, you know, being the newest person in the band, I've been in the band 3.5 years. I toured America in 2008, done Warped Tour in 2008 with my old band, and I just love touring America, so I've definitely been pushing for it more, you know. And obviously when we got this offer, it was sort of something we couldn't turn down, you know. I love Warped Tour.
And what was the last band that you toured with?
I toured, the last band that I played in was like a band that I'd started with my friends from home, and we were signed to a label over here through a subsidiary of Warner's. The band was called Beat Union. And yeah, I mean, it just financial difficulties, label closed down, we had the van and trailer stolen, so but we'd also toured along Lost Prophets on festivals and stuff, and kind of knew the guys, you know. So when I heard Alan had left, I was just like, you know, I'm gonna throw my name in the hat, you know what I mean. And we're all cut from the same cloth. Those dudes are working class Welshmen, you know, working class Birmingham guy here, you know. So it's like we just hit it off and it worked out, and it was good, you know.
That's an interesting thing too, because you've had a band fail, like you said, because of financial
Many
things.
bands
Yeah,
fail.
okay, so how does that feel then to be in a band that is established? They got established before you joined, but still, you're still going strong with them. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons. Obviously, like, I feel like coming into someone else's band, I didn't want to sort of have too much of a forceful opinion, or like, but also I didn't get into music to be a mute either. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to like kind of made my presence felt. You know. And that's what's awesome about the guys and our relationship is they made me a member, and they made me welcome to input my songs and ideas and have my opinion, and I was included in a lot of stuff. So it was actually really good. Whereas I thought it might not, like, you know, tight knit bunch of dudes, already blown up, you know, 3 albums deep. Maybe like the new guys probably just gonna have to just play drums and get on with it. You know what I mean?
Hear
So
what you're doing.
I wondered if it would be like that, but it wasn't at all. And you know, I feel like I almost wasn't it from the start. You know what I mean? It feels like we're all on the same page. It's really good.
When are you thinking about getting your first tattoo?
I've been getting tattoos since I was 15.
15, wow.
Yeah. I got a dodgy tattoo when I was 15, and I got it lasered off actually. But yeah, I used to date a girl that tattooed, and she tattooed a lot of me, and then I helped build another friend's shop, and then he tattooed me, and we were in New York the other day, went up the Empire State Building, and me and Stu and drum tech Tom, we were like, this is awesome, and we got to the bottom, we were like, let's get tattooed Empire State Building. So I got an Empire State Building tattooed on me.
Really?
Yeah, on the back of my leg here. I was like, I got that in Prague like 3 weeks ago.
What does that say?
Watch the Thinker.
Watch the Thinker.
And then I got this.
You really do have the statue of, well, I mean, the Empire State Building. Wow.
Nice.
I was like, I'm in, man. I love a tour tat. Like, to me, tour tats is almost better than getting an organised tattoo, like getting a sleeve or something. I get getting a sleeve for the art and stuff. But when I'm on tour, like, I don't take photos or anything like that. So, like, I'll always remember that. Oh,
Right,
I got
I would
that tattoo.
imagine.
I came straight down from the Empire State Building. Like, went to, my knowledge, one of the best tattoo shops in New York, which is Daredevil NYC, and like there's quite famous artists work there, and we just like on a whim went in there, and they were like, yeah, we could do you 3 walk-ins. So we just, you know, got on with it, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it sucked for the first few days of Warped because it was
As hot as it is.
but I just love that, you know. I love sort of my body's marked from that occasion, you know?
Right.
Was it difficult to play the set when you?
No, I was wearing rolled up trousers,
Oh, nice.
wiping down with baby wipes.
Yeah.
How do you continue to progress as a drummer?
I mean, I felt like I stalled for a while. Like, probably actually in the last 18 months, I feel like I've started growing again. But I used to watch drummers, and I used to like incorporate different styles, work with different producers, and I'd done a bunch of session drumming, and I used to like have time to sit in my practice room, play to my favourite records, or if I'd heard a new record and the drums were good on it, like sit down and just play along to it. And that was always how I'd sort of like grown my style, or, you know, picked up like almost new beats or flavours, you know, and incorporated it into my own stuff. But there was a period of time where we were just touring so much I didn't have, you know, I wasn't seeing many drummers, and I wasn't like, we weren't touring like big festivals like this where I can walk around to each stage each day and like, someone's talking about that guy drumming, oh, I'm going to go and check him out. Someone's talking about that guy, you know, like I'm checking out the drummer of T Mills the other day. It's like total different style to me, completely different style. It's like completely controlled drummer, but he's like badass, like tight, just rips, you know. And then I was checking out the drummer from We Are the In Crowd. He's like sick drummer, real fluid, crisp and Bayside, plays with a toothpick in his mouth, just like chills, like relaxing. Like so many different styles and vibes going on that you can kind of like appreciate, you know what I mean? I mean, my style's very aggressive, and I'm always trying to break, like, you know, sticks touching my back and whatnot, you know. But that's just me, you know what I mean? I've always wanted to be like that, visually stimulating play, you know. So
Yeah. Last question: if you knew you had 10 to 15 minutes left to live, and you're, you know, everything's wrapping up, what is the last song that you would want to hear? You can hear it, you can perform it, yours or anybody else's.
1979 by Smashing Pumpkins.
That's a
Really?
good answer.
It's my favourite band of all time.
Nice.
Big Chamberlain fan?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
So
That's why
that's why I figured you were going with that.
Huge. Love that drummer. Best drummer ever. Him.
Yeah, amazing.
top drummers. Jimmy Chamberlain, like massive influence on me. Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction. Top of Heaven from the Clash.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Clash are one of my favourite bands. Copeland, Reese, and then a drummer that you probably won't know named Martin Jilks, R.I.P. When I grew up, my dad managed a band. He was a drummer in that band, pretty big band in the UK called The Wonder Stuff, and he gave me my first drumsticks. So
that's awesome.
I still play drums. Yeah.
Wow. Danny Carey of Tool, amazing drummer as well.
Good
If you ever
drummer.
get to see,
Actually, Jordan Vic from the Bronx as well.
Okay.
Amazing. Sick. I always try and give him a name check because not many people name check him. I think he's like a very underrated drummer, but he's a bad boy.
Being a drummer myself, I'm a Portnoy fan.
Yeah.
All in all,
Yeah.
He's this Tama guy like me.
Yeah.
Is he?
Tama guy. Yeah, he's a big Tama guy. He's like one of the top guys at Tama. Like my guy at Tama is always talking to me about Portnoy.
Portnoy is
Nice.
I could only aspire
Yeah.
to be as
He's a great drummer.
a fraction of what he is. He's a killer.
Well, look forward to seeing you guys down the road again, and again, loving the new album that's out right now,
Get you guys
Lost
back in the
Prophets.
States again,
Go
so we can see you.
go see these guys soon.
Good.
Back here in a few minutes on Across the Board.